Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of the Monie Podcast. I am your girl, Monie, and today is Father's Day. I want to take the time to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, all the brothers, all the grandpas, all the uncles, all the mentors out there. Happy Father's Day. You know, in this episode, I want to talk about the fathers who shaped us, lessons, love, and legacy. So let's get into it. You know, while many people today, they're probably celebrating with family, maybe you got a little barbecue going on, dinner, gifts, cards. I know that Father's Day can bring up a lot of emotions. For some people, Father's Day is a beautiful celebration. For others, it's complicated. And for some of us, we were raised by incredible fathers. Some of us were raised by men who weren't our biological fathers, but showed up every single day. Some of us are grieving fathers we've lost. Some of us are still searching for answers. And some of us are fathers ourselves. We're going to hear a little bit from some of those fathers. Thank you to those who send in your videos. And, you know, they're trying their best to raise children in a world that looks different from the one that they grew up in. Today isn't just about celebrating fathers, but it's about reflecting on the impact they have on our lives. The lessons they teach us, the love they give us, the mistakes they make, the sacrifices we never saw, and the legacy they leave behind. Throughout today's episode, you'll hear from several fathers who generally, basically, you know, they're going to be sharing their thoughts on what fatherhood means to them in today's world. So I encourage you to kick back, listen closely, because every father has a different story. But there is one thing they all have in common. They're trying. Let's get into it. So as you can see, I'm rocking my purple sweater that says, "You are loved." And it's so fitting for today's episode because to all the fathers out there, I just want to say that you are loved. You are appreciated, and today we honor you. Fatherhood has changed. Fatherhood today is very different than it did 20, 30, or even 50 years ago. For generations, fathers often seem primarily as the provider. Wouldn't you agree? They go to work, pay the bills, put food on the table, provide. But today's fathers are being asked to do more. Be emotionally available, attend school concerts, know their child's favorite song, break cycles, be present. And honestly, many fathers are doing exactly that. They're juggling so many different hats now in this day and age. Today's fathers aren't just helping to raise children, they're helping to shape them emotionally as healthy adults. Let's take a listen to my first video from a father.
Hey, what's good? This is Dwayne Morgan. For me, I think fatherhood is definitely one of the best things that has ever happened in my life. I think it presents the opportunity for us to look at the things that we have gone through, try to find the lessons, try to figure out how do we share that with another human being to enrich their life in some way, shape, or form. It causes us to look at, some of our deficiencies and ask ourselves, well, what do I have to do to get better? How can I improve? How can I be a better man, a better person, so that this child has access to the best parts of me? I think it really requires us to humble ourselves and to have a layer of humility, because there's no manual for this, and every child is different, so you have to be learning on the go, and you have to be willing to be wrong, and admit when you're wrong, and try to change course. So I think that fatherhood is definitely not something to be taken lightly. It is a huge responsibility, but we play such a meaningful role in the lives of our children, whether we are there or whether we are not. It's a much more positive role when we are there. So, I encourage as many men as possible to responsibly step into fatherhood, because it's not just about what we can give, it's also about what we are able to receive if we are open to the learnings that come from this experience. It is definitely not easy, definitely a lot of learning and a lot of challenges, but the rewards outweigh all of that. So that's my 2 cents, and I want to wish a happy Father's Day to all the men out there celebrating today. Peace, y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. Words of wisdom in that video. I want to say thank you for that, Father, for taking the time to submit that video to us. So what does being a father mean to you? If you're listening right now, I want you to take the time and answer that question. What does being a father mean to me? Let's get into the things dads don't always get credited for. Because if I'm honest, I think Father's Day is big, but Mother's Day is like something that outshadows Father's Day. And there's a reason for that. We're going to get into that. So the things dads don't always get credited for. Sometimes fathers don't receive the recognition they deserve. The early mornings, the extra shifts, the worrying, the sacrifices, the pressure to always have answers. Many fathers carry enormous responsibilities while rarely, it's not something talked about. And they often feel the weight of that. Society often asks fathers to be strong, but rarely ask, how are they doing? Think about that for a second. As a man, somebody who has to carry the load oftentimes, rarely do we ask them, how are you doing? And today, I want to acknowledge that. To every father carrying a burden silently, we see you. I now want to get into my second video clip from a father explaining what it means to be a dad.
Good night, Monie. The question of the night is, what does fatherhood means to me in today's world? Fatherhood means a lot to me. Being a father, first of all, let me say this, any man can be a father, or it takes a great man to be a dad. But nonetheless, the fatherhood means to me a lot in today's society, because I have 2 kids, a girl and a boy, and I'm expected to get up, and I have the drive to get up to make sure that I'm going out to make sure their future is set. And also I have the responsibility to protect them throughout life until they come of age where they could think and do for their own. So fatherhood is that thing. One, you're not prepared for. Some people are not prepared for fatherhood. They just have to hit the ground running and say you have to do goodbye. One, your child, yourself, and God. So fatherhood do mean a lot to me, because say growing up, I had my grandfather, my father. There's a lot of good father role in my family, which I had to set example, just like how them set example when me I grew up. And them did be there for them child. So me, I have to say I have to do the same and do more, right? Fatherhood is that thing also, which it's like a badge of honor. For say, you have 2 offspring, or however many offspring looking up to you, are looking for your return home, or I should say, They go to school and brag about, oh, my dad is this, my dad does this. Those are the things. And also, I must say, in fatherhood, some people think that, some fathers, because his father's there, think that money raises a child. Sometimes it's just time. The kids nowadays, they want quality time, and that does a lot. That goes a long way, because when kids are small, whatever age, and them get older and I talk with them friends, they're not gonna remember how much money you spend buying Jordans or whatever. They're gonna remember, well, oh, my dad took me to Disney World, my dad took me here. They're gonna remember those small things. So time, I must say, is a good thing for kids. And to wrap this up, fatherhood means the world to me. Because, as I said, I have 2 bundles of joy that fuel my drive every morning to get up and go do the right thing.
All right. Thank you so much for that clip. Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for sharing that with our listeners and viewers. Let's get into the lessons fathers leave with us. Whether your father is present now, or, if they're present every day or only for seasons, chances are they taught you something that you can hold on to, something that's taken you in the long run, something that you've used to apply in your everyday life. Maybe he taught you resilience. Maybe he taught you integrity. Maybe he taught you what love looks like. That's an important one, especially for females. If your father has taught you what love looks like, if you're actively searching for companionship, many young women look for some qualities that their father have in that person that they're looking to date. So maybe your dad taught you what love looks like. Or maybe he taught you what you never want to become. That's another thing. Maybe you see some qualities in your dad and you're like, maybe I don't want to be like that. Or maybe they've shown you things in others and this cold world and let you realize there's some traits that you don't want to pick up. Sometimes our greatest lessons come from positive examples. Sometimes they come from painful ones, Either way, those lessons help to shape us. And if you're a parent today, you're creating lessons your children will carry for the rest of their lives. And that is powerful. Let's drop another video from a father explaining what it means to be a dad.
Fatherhood is a sacred, evolving journey of presence, sacrifice, and unconditional love. It is designed less by biology and more by a daily commitment to nurture, support, and guide. Ultimately, it is an opportunity to lead by example, a child's character and future. Being a dad means showing up not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and wholeheartedly. Being a father isn't just something we do. Fatherhood is about presence, not perfection. Your role as a dad evolves, but the foundation is always love and support. Real connection comes from understanding who your kids are, not who you want them to be. Small intentional moments become lifetime memories. Your action teaches more than your words. Lead with integrity. Fatherhood has been the greatest adventure of my life. It's not always easy. There are bumps, detours, unexpected turns, but when you are present, you realize how much fun it can be. Be intentional in creating experiences that are not only fun in the moment, but also meaningfully over time. That's how you build trust, love, and lifelong bonds. Happy Father's Day to all the real fathers, Alpha and Omega.
All right. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that one. Love that. And I want to get into another segment. To the people who struggle on Father's Day, I have quite a few friends that when Father's Day come around, they disappear. I have friends who've grown up without a dad, don't know who their father is. And so Father's Day is very emotional for them. Some of them have lost their father. Again, they take that time to reminisce or visit the graveside. So I want to take this segment and focus on those individuals who struggle, particularly on Father's Day. As I mentioned, maybe, their father passed away. Maybe you never knew your dad. Maybe your relationship is strained. Maybe you're grieving what should have been. Please know that your feelings are valid. You don't have to force celebration if today feels heavy. You don't have to pretend. This is a time for you to honor that individual. Give yourself permission to feel whatever today brings. Whatever today brings. If you feel you need to cry, if you need time to be alone, if you feel, you just want to have that moment, take it. Today is the day. And remember that healing is possible. I find Father's Day hard as well for myself. My father is still alive. And I have a relationship with my dad that sometimes it's a little bit of a on, off. But I take the time to honor him today. And I just want to say, Dad, I love you. And if you're listening, happy Father's Day. I appreciate you. And I want to thank you for all that you've done for the family. You don't get recognized enough. And I just want to let you know that I appreciate you, and I see that you're trying and you're working so hard for us. Despite how you feel health-wise, you still go out there and hustle and push and go forward. So I just want to say my hat goes off to you today, and I honor you and I respect you and I respect your hustle. So hope you're listening, and I hope you got that little message. My dad's not big on podcasts, so if he does hear this, it must be somebody told him about that message. Again, thank you for all the fathers who took the time to do a video and send it in to me. It really means a lot. Really, really appreciate it. I now want to touch on the segment, what legacy are we leaving? As dads, what legacy are you leaving behind for your children, your community, whatever it is you're passionate about? What example and what legacy are we leaving and setting? Whether you're a father or a mentor, or could be a coach, an uncle, teacher, or a friend, every one of us leaving a legacy. Legacy isn't about money. It's not about property. It's not status. Legacy is how people remember the way you made them feel. I always ask my guests, what do you want to be remembered for? How do you want people to remember you? So Dad's legacy is how people remember the way you made them feel. Have you made them feel great? Have you uplifted them? And as a dad, that's very important. How are you making your children feel? Can they come and talk to you? Are they scared of you? Do you motivate them, encourage them? So I want you to really think about that part. Remember that, it's how you make people feel. And it's the values that you pass down as well. What are you leaving behind? What are some of the values? One of the things that I always wanted to learn from my dad is how to fix or turn or change the tire on a car. Like if I get a flat, I just want to pull up on the roadside, go into the trunk, take out the flat, do my thing, make me feel so empowered, like I can do that. So that's one thing that I think I've always wanted to learn, especially about cars, because females, let's be honest, whenever we get into those little car issues, the little hiccups, we're on the highway, who's the first person we're calling? Dad. You're calling dad. You're like, listen, this light just came on. I don't know what it means, or the car is sounding a little bit funny. I don't know what to do. And you get the advice right away. Your dad tells you what to do. Stay calm. Exit, the nearest exit. I got you. Where you at? They come and they help you. So really admire and appreciate that quality in a dad. So shout out to those dads who take the time, the patience to really help their daughters out if they're stuck in that jam. It's also the kindness you show when I speak about legacy. How kind are you to your children? Being kind is something that goes a long way. They'll remember the kind little things that you've done for them. And it's the love that you give. Love can be shown in so many different ways. I know my love language is giving gifts. I know for fathers, different ways of showing love. It could be just showing up at an event for them, or just telling them, well done, words of encouragement, or for some, it could just be simply laughing at some of their jokes or having a conversation, bonding, different forms of love. So dads, if you're listening, I want you to think about how are you showing love to your children? Years from now, what will people say about you? Will they say, my dad was awesome. My dad was great. My dad was giving. My dad was strict, but, it was worth it. He was firm, but understanding. These are things that go a long way, and you want people to remember you in a positive light, an uplifting light. I have a friend that has a father who is quite strict, and it was like growing up with her, the dad was very, very strict. She couldn't go certain places. She had tight curfews. And today when we reminisce and talk about her dad, she's just like, honestly, I'm glad that he was the way he was, because it helped to shape me. It helped to mold me into the direction that, I took. So sometimes some of those lessons that your dad, instills in you, a lot of us thinks that they're just being strict and hard on us, but no. In the long run, sometimes it's meant to steer us in the right direction. So that's another way that we remember our fathers, and it's another way of leaving a legacy, because a lot of kids go into a different direction. They turn out to be so much better than what they themselves saw that they would be, all because of that push, all because of sometimes that strictness in that positive direction. What stories will they tell when they think of your legacy? Will they tell of some of the times when you ran after them around the house in that strictness? Would they tell of some of the comical moments, your upbringing? What stories will they tell? And what impact will remain? So those are some questions worth asking and reflecting on as we go through this Father's Day. And that brings me to a segment that I like to call good things are coming. This is the segment of my show where I leave my listeners and viewers with a positive affirmation to help them get through the week. So this one is a long one. It's a few varieties, but I want to drop them on you guys either way. Good things are coming to the father who feels like nobody notices how hard he's trying. Good things are coming to the dad working long hours to provide for his family. Good things are coming to the father rebuilding a relationship with his children. Good things are coming to the man who chooses to break unhealthy cycles and create something better for the next generation. And this is the last one. Good things are coming to anyone carrying pain today, because healing has a way of arriving when we least expect it. So never underestimate the impact of showing up. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone is simply just your presence, just being there still. So keep showing up, keep loving, keep trying. Those are my good things are coming. So I just want to say again, happy Father's Day. Thank you guys for joining me today on this special Father's Day episode. And a special thank you to the fathers who took the time to share their stories and reflections with us today in your selfie videos. Much appreciated. And if this episode touched you in any way, take a moment, like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. And if there's a father, a stepfather, or a grandfather, a mentor, or father figure who has made a difference in your life, reach out and let them know today. Or comment below, big them up, as we say. Let them know that they are loved and appreciated. You know, sometimes people need to hear that they matter. So take the time today to let them know. Again, fathers, you are loved. I'm showing that, wearing that on my chest. As we say in Jamaica, big up on yourself. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and happy Father's Day. Bye for now.